Very short show, obviously, because we got here even later today. Didn't want to come on this morning to talk about, I don't know what I'm talking about today. But anyway, did want to get on the air for a very, again, short time here this morning on Wncr-Tv Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. 27 minutes past the hour. Again, good morning to each and every one of you. Do hope you had a fantastic yesterday weekend, July the 4th. Been summer here, there, and everywhere over these past couple of days. And so, yeah, yesterday, Pop's Diner. I tell you, every Sunday we are definitely selling out. And so we thank all the support that we have there that comes into Pop's Diner on Sunday, I guess, for our Soul Food Sundays, where we offer oxtails, turkey wings, and whatever else, pork chop, you name it. It's there at Pop's Diner. I even made a Philly cheesesteak yesterday. So someone that came in and ordered off the app versus our in-store menu. And so saw the Philly cheesesteak on the thing. I said, okay, I can whip that together. So I did. And they enjoyed it. Actually, they were from Asheville, North Carolina. They were coming through. They spent the time in Nag's Head and found Pop's Diner on Yep or something. I forgot what I think it was Yep. And stopped by the facility and enjoyed. They said never taste the hot dog the way they were. Then they enjoyed the Philly cheesesteak. And so it was a great, pleasant experience with them. They said when they're in the area again, as they come through and traveling, they would be sure to stop by Pop's Diner. So we certainly appreciate them and so many others who come in. Get to see so many familiar faces, those who watch the television program and et cetera. Saw Miss Lucy Boyer, who was in the Pop's Diner on yesterday as well. So we certainly thank, again, everyone. Let me share this Facebook Live video real quick as well. Let's see here. And again, we're going to be out of here before you know it. Say we in and out just like that. Be in and out just like that. But what else? And so, what was it? Friday. Friday was July 4th. Thursday, kicking off the Independence Day celebration at the Rocky Mount Municipal Stadium for the fireworks display and vendors and things of that nature. It was a number of people out there, lines of people waiting to get into the stadium there, and I did see some Facebook comments about the time taken to get in, and so they'll always use those things as building stones and things to make next year's event better. So hopefully that will transpire as well. And then on Friday, what happened Friday? I did something Friday, but of course I been here and everywhere. So it was over at the where was I? Oh, Little Riley Day on Saturday. That went on and saw a number of people whom I knew and had great conversation about a number of things happening in our community. Learned about health, wellness, and things of that nature as well. So I think it was the 25th anniversary of Little Riley Day. And so that was good as well. Today marks the 7th day of July, which means filing for local municipal elections. That includes Rocky Mount, Pine Top, so I think Macclesville. A number of municipalities across the state is having elections this year in October, some in September, and some in November, just depending on when and where you are. So today is the first day for that. So a number of people will be filing. You'll get the updated list on who filed, when and where. I remember that place, when and where, for various wards and districts and things of that nature. So that'll be going on today as well. What else is happening in our various communities? Oh, of course, I was watching this morning, WHIG. Jean Alman talking about, Jean Kitchen talking about her experience there with her son, and so that was my tardiness this morning, was called in that interview there. So I do tune in and check that out from time to time as well. Let me see here. And of course, was it on Friday? Yeah, that's okay. So of course that big beautiful bill passed as well, and so we're there for that. Of course, floods in the Chapel Hill, Orange County, Durham County, all those things, areas where the storm certainly caused flooding there. 80 people rescued from flooded homes near in Durham County. Storm damage and flood. So I'm sure there's going to be some rebuilding there. And then it makes you wonder, what about FEMA? FEMA during times such as these. Of course, you got the federal government trying to reduce, or did reduce. I think that might have been even part of the big beautiful bill, and policy shifts and things of that nature. And people can't control storms and devastation. And so those things happen. And so sometimes you're going to need that assistance from federal support, i.e. as people pour into the federal government, sometimes it's hard for them to get the withdrawals from it. And this is an interesting story here that was posted on WRL website. It says thousands of people who switch careers to become North Carolina public school teachers are leaving their roles within 3 years. Now, data shows that the latest indicator of hiring challenges plaguing the school district across the state. Temporary licensed teachers, largely people who entered the profession from another field, are the fastest growing teaching population in the state. It makes up about 10% of North Carolina teaching workforce, up 2.6% a decade ago. But many of them are leaving because they find it difficult to meet the professional and academic requirements to earn full teaching licensing, which is required to keep teaching for longer than 3 years. A lot of it has to do with the cost and time, of course. The worst thing for kids is turnover, said Jeremy Mittag, who taught special education in Saunderson High School in Raleigh for 3 years before leaving the profession this summer. By your second and third year, you develop a rapport. You know what you're doing. You're able to communicate with the kids with special needs. And the next year, they have a brand new teacher with no experience. And so how do you curve that, I guess, would be something the state legislature would have to do. Of course, our state legislator is working on a budget, so we'll see what that budget will look like. I don't think they have any session thing. I don't even know when they go back to session. I don't think they have a session today. Let me just confirm. Look at the calendar here, current calendar. Yeah, so nothing in the House, and I'm sure there's nothing. And they may be out for a week or so. I don't know. I don't think they didn't convene the session because it's not convened. They did not end the session because they have no budget, so they're still working on that. Yeah, so there's nothing. I'm not sure when they. Let me see if we can look at our legislative lane from Representative Willingham, who may talk about when they may be going back to session. Next voting session time to be determined. So don't know when they're going back into session. So it says NC House and Senate passed a bill to ban DEI in public schools and universities and state government. The North Carolina House voted on Wednesday for approval of 2 Republican-backed Senate bills that would restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in public schools. The Senate-led the Republican-led state Senate passed both measures earlier this year. Now, Democratic Governor Josh Stein, and of course, he vetoed those bills. The bills votes occurred just hours after the Senate approved the House measures detailing the same topic. Senate Bill 227 targets K-12 education, while Senate Bill 558 or 558 focus on public college and universities. The bills will prohibit what sponsors describe as divisive concepts from being taught in the classroom. Then of course, I think we talked about this, that the House bill Tuesday approved 81-29, a regulatory reform bill that included language that would prevent municipalities from regulating U.S. flags on private land. The House also rejected the amendment proposed by Democratic Rep. Gloria Stein Brown, who would require existing penalties to be paid instead of eliminated. And so this is dealing with a flag flying in Greenville, North Carolina, in Pitt County, for a campground site there. But yeah, so Governor, did I say Governor Cooper? I'm sure I said Governor Stein. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I did. Governor Stein did veto a couple of bills We did see those veto messages. Let me see if we can get to them really quickly here. Yeah, so he vetoes Senate Bill 227, eliminating DI in public education. He vetoes Senate Bill 558, eliminating DI in public higher education. He also vetoes House Bill 805, prevent sexual exploitation, women and minors. He vetoed House Bill 171, equity in the state agencies, prohibition on DEI. He also vetoed Senate Bill 266, the Power Bill Reduction Act. He vetoed Senate Bill 254, the charter school changes. Vetoed House Bill 549, the clarifying powers of state auditor, as well. So he has been vetoing like crazy. Let's see here if we can see. Most of the time when a governor vetoes, they will put up a veto message as to what their purpose was. Let me see if we can find that really quick on the governor's website. And news. Whoops, not about, but news. Press releases generally. Yep. Takes action on 12 bills. So he says, this is Governor makes the following statement on bills he vetoed, which is Senate Bill 558, Bill 227, House Bill 171, and House Bill 805. It say, at a time when teachers, law enforcement, and state employees need pay raises, people need shorter lines at DMV, the legislature failed to pass a budget. Instead, it wants to detract us by stroking culture wars and further dividing us. These mean-spirited bills would marginalize vulnerable people and also undermine the quality of public service and public education. Therefore, I'm vetoing them. I stand ready to work with the legislature to get serious about protecting people and addressing North Carolina pressing concerns. And statement regarding this, he's actually signed Senate Bill 600. This bill enables people to sign up to be organ donors while doing tax returns to keep patients safe from toxic chemicals. It also helps schools recruit and retain nurses and give teachers more tools to quickly treat students with severe allergies. So he didn't go into detail. Historically, what they would do is make a post about each bill line by line. His administration pretty much gives you a summary of those things. But that's what we got there as relates to those particular bills. Now, I did see a news story surrounded by that. Let me see. North Carolina governor's vetoes Republican-led DEI and trans legislation. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein vetoed 4 controversial bills that target diversity, equity, and inclusion, initiatives of transgender policy, setting up a political clash, Republican-led General Assembly. Stein, a Democrat, blasted 3 DEI-focused bills of being mean-spirited that would marginalize vulnerable people and took aim at Republicans who failed to pass a fiscal budget for the year that just began. The DEI bills ought to ban DEI training, hiring practices, staff positions, and state and local governments, as well as outlawing the use of state funds for DEI programs. The legislation would also impose civil penalties on workers who violate the rules. No Democrats supported the 3 DEI bills. And it says, at a time when teachers and law enforcement, so we just read that, means for the bill, the measure was cut in late. And I'm reading this actually from Fox News, so at least they did it verbatimly as he said it. The measures of cutting and eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the state and local government K-12 public schools and university systems have begun a major priority for GOP lawmakers. They urge the programs target to have overemphasized identity to the detriment of the merit and societal unity. The transgender bill begins as a bipartisan measure to curb sexual exploitation by enforcing age verification and consent rules for pornography websites, but lawmakers later added controversial provisions, including the ban on state-funded gender reaffirming procedures for prisoners. It also affirms the recognition of 2 sexes and requires the state to officially attach a transgender person's new birth certificate to the old one if they change sex at their assigned birth. Stein also vetoed the measure. He strongly supported the anti-sexual exploitation provision of the bill, but the final measure went too far. My faith teaches me that we're all children of God, no matter our differences and what is wrong to target vulnerable people, as this bill does, he added. One Democrat backed the fourth bill before Stein vetoed it. All four bills now returned to General Assembly, which could reconvene later this month to attempt to for veto overrides. Republicans are one vote short of a veto-proof supermajority in the House. It's going to be interesting to see what those bills or the governor's veto looks like. It's going to be also interesting to see what the election will look like for 2026 for the North Carolina General Assembly as well. Real quick, I want to say good morning to Gwendolyn Swain, Alice Bailey, Andre Smiley, Candy Staten, Irma Maxwell, Lucy Boyer, Barbara Chapman, Frida Perkins, as well as 113 if you're on Optimum Cable, Lorraine Pitts, or Channel 20 or 21.1, depends on how you watch television on Optimum. Lorraine Pitts, good morning to you. Betty Archambault, Gloria Brake, and Allison Williams, good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to WNCR-TV Now, as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation this and every weekday morning that we're here, obviously. Looking for this, kill that. Okay. So again, that is the bills, and again, we don't know when lawmakers are coming back, what they're doing with the budget. But that's North Carolina for you. Sometimes they be working on North Carolina budgets way in October. It's going to be interesting of what the North Carolina budget looks like, again, as next year is an election year. Filing for General Assembly seats will go up in December. And so then the primary will be in March, and the next election will be in November of next year. And so what does that look like? What does the district support look like? What is the appetite for sending more Democrats to the General Assembly? What is the appetite for sending more Republicans to the General Assembly? Is going to be something that the North Carolina voters and North Carolinian voters will be doing over the next couple of months, should I say. And then you also have measures that have been put in place for school boards to be partisan as well. And so Pitt County School Board, I think, I'm not sure if that passed or not, but I know they was talking about, let me see, Pitt County public schools to be partisan boards. Let's see if that actually is usually the case in North Carolina House of Representatives. They approved, the House did, so I don't know if the Senate have or not. Not sure. Well, it looks like Pitt County Board of Education passed a resolution against the proposed change. One board member expressed concern that this could make it harder for independent thinkers and women to be elected, and suggested that more school boards nationwide operate without party labels. I definitely think that is so true, that you get all of this political theater inside education, and I think it is at a sole attempt to not be concerned about education. It is a sole attempt to really dumb down America, so that America won't be aware of how they are slapped in the face, lied to, literally, I guess, spit on, metaphorically speaking, in a number of situations, and taxed to death. And so to further divide elections and individuals and communities, because they say to win a war is to divide and conquer. And so that is where we have found ourselves as communities, as members of this state and members of this country. Are you Republican? Are you a Democrat? Not, hey, how are you? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is great for you. If not, tell me about it. No, it is, do you like Trump or do you not like Trump? Or are you MAGA or are you non-MAGA? So not, are you healthy? not any of these kind of things, right? Are you enjoying life? That is where we find ourselves. And I think it is a real difficult place to be in this country, in this state, and perhaps even in our community, because it really keeps us from working together. I.e., when I'm out at Little Riley Day and talking to people in the community, that's not a conversation that comes up. One of the biggest conversations, despite what other people think is not the conversation, if you actually talk to people, what people are particularly tired of is seeing boarded up and dilapidated homes in their community. That is one of the consistent conversations that I have, in particular Ward 3, with residents in the community. And of course, there are some other things that are also dealing with housing conditionings and the lack of code enforcement, which again deals with dilapidated homes. And of course, then there's some issues with neighbors being neighbors, but that's another story for another day. So, that is what I hear more and more. And of course, what I also heard in Little Raleigh Day is, having a community center for kids is something for them to do. Say the closest thing to it is South Rocky Mount Community Center and or R.M. Wilson. And, that's, again, it goes that comprehensive planning and things of that nature. How do you site community centers and how walkable are they and things of that nature? Because I'm not sure if there's a model that exists, and I say that we have to follow everybody else, of course. We can be leaders in things as well, but I'm not sure across this country if there are actually community centers in every community, in particular cities in North Carolina and any other state. And so I think when you have regional or multi-community shared community facilities, one, it enables people who ordinarily are not living in the same space or street to come together and get to know each other. And so I think there is some benefit to, and I can say we can have regions within our city, right? That it would allow that type of collaboration and conversation. And so then it would be getting there. What does our public transportation look like? What is our walkable communities looking like? And so I think those are things. And what does the biking situation looks like for people who are biking maybe from their home to a community facility? But I do think you have to look at strategically where to plant. One, identifying where you currently have them at. I think right now you just say you have the South Rocky Mount Community Facility, you have the R.M. Wilson Gym, as well as the BTW gym. I can't think of any other indoor rec facility that exists that's operated by the city. And of course, you have a number of parks throughout our city as well. I think maybe about 56 parks or 58 or whatever. But citing others, staffing others, footing that utility bill and all these other things associated with it, you got to be sure that they're put in places that make sense. And then what is it exactly that community members want? What do you think the anticipated usage will be and all this kind of stuff? And so I don't know what that would look like, but obviously you always go back to what is the general consensus of the populace. And if that is something that they want to see their tax dollars directed towards, I think it is an effort of the elected body to move in that direction and not move away from it. And so it is getting back to making the citizens the priority and not just letting things go into one ear and then out the other. I think that is important. But also, when you're having that conversation with people in the community, be sure to have a full conversation, right? Be sure to have a full conversation, lay out the pros and cons, enable that critical thinking about, I hear you, now how can we make it better? And engage in that. And then they say, well, and the conversation ends up, we don't want to make it better. We just want what we want. Then you figure out what that looks like, what that sounds like, and what that feels like going forward. Let's see here. I want to say good morning also to Vernice Harris as well. Thank you for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now. Again, I see Lucy Boyer who is on, so I had opportunity to meet her and her husband at Pop's Diner just yesterday, as a matter of fact, and it was another busy time in Pop. So again, we thank all of those who come in and be a part of that. What time we got? Okay, 9 more minutes or so before we get up out of here on WNCR-TV Now. What is this? Oh. So we talked about the lack of the General Assembly doing anything as it relates to a budget. I'm sure they're working on something. We'll see what ultimately unfolds with that as well. And again, today is a filing for local municipal elections. And so in Rocky Mount, you have wards 2, 3, 6, and 7. So that is Ward 3 is currently being held by Councilman Richard Joyner, who says he's opting not to seek re-election. Should have went Ward 2 first, because that comes before 3, right? So Ward 2 is held by Councilman Ruben Blackwell, who says he's seeking re-election. Ward 3, Councilman Joyner says he's not seeking re-election. Ward 6, Councilman Tom Harris says he's seeking re-election. And Ward 7, Councilman Jabars Walker also says he's seeking re-election. And so we'll see if any of, if Ward 2, 6, and 7 has any person challenging the incumbents. And if not, we do know that Ward 3 will have a number of candidates who will be seeking that office, or who is seeking that office. And so those candidates includes, of course, yours truly, Bronson Williams, but also the longest announced candidate out there is Mr. Tim Barnes, who is seeking that office, and perhaps may file today or may not, between now and July the 18th. Also, Crystal Wimes Anderson, who said she'll be seeking the office of Ward 3. Who else is running for? Carl Revis, who's said he's seeking the office for Ward 3. And another gentleman named Xavier Jones. And so there is, did I say Nayleen Richardson? Let me go back. So there's myself, Bronson Williams, Tim Barnes. Well, let me do it the way that it came out. So Tim Barnes, Bronson Williams, Nayleen Richardson, Krista Wimes Anderson, Carl Revis, and Xavier Jones. 6 people to be running for that particular office, if all 6 file, and it could be more who files between now and then. And so that is what's happening in Ward 3. What I do appreciate about the number of people who is running, or say they will be running, is the fact that you have that many people who's interested in making a difference and serving in that capacity, because for years, oftentimes you don't find people who are interested in serving in that capacity. So the fact that there's potentially 6 people who will file for Ward 3, that is beneficial to the community. Hopefully that will offer some additional engagement in Ward 3 that they hadn't seen in most recent elections, because you'll have more boots on the ground, so to speak, talking about issues, getting to know people for those who need to have that process. And me would be about rekindling existing relationships and building some new, because there is some new people who moved into the ward since then. And of course, there are new areas of Ward 3 as well. So we're looking forward to that process over the next couple of months. And again, October, before you know it, we're almost getting close to being about the middle of July. You'll be talking about August and September, then October the 7th is the election date. So, you're really talking about a good 2.5 months before the election will be over. And that's potentially over. And then, again, if you don't have candidates receive the threshold that's required to avoid a runoff, then that means the election will go into November, which will be the instant runoff election process. And Rocky Mount is familiar with those. And we'll also see what the new local board of elections will do as it relates to early voting. It is a thought that the early voting time, that which has generally been 14, 15 days thereabout, will be reduced to about a week of early voting with the way the state board of elections is and local board of elections. And so that may be something we see this year, and it may not be. I have no earthly idea. Generally, they try to sometimes let municipal elections be some test situations before the midterm election that's going to happen next year. But we'll see what ultimately happens with early voting for the municipal election for Rocky Mount, and really for across the state, really, and see what they really do. Of course, it was a whole push of no Sunday voting and all these other things that they've been championing with early voting and the voting in general, to change some of the rules, and then even trying to go back and change rules after you actually participate in an election about what ballot should count during, of course, the state Supreme Court seat. So what areas are in Ward 3? That includes a very interesting boundary there, but Buck Leonard Park, back, you've got Gray Street, you've got a little bit of Raleigh Road. You also have Cokie Road, Berkshire Community, Brown Acres Community, so Clark Street. You've got Franklin Street there in the South Rocky Mount Community area. You got Kinston Avenue. So it is a very large geographical area to be ensured that every city council person is representing an equal size population. And so from Sutton Road, Vance Street, over there on Flemings, down near South Church Street again, Kinston Avenue, Amos, South Acres, you name it. Of course, you can go to Rocky Mount City website and click on the interactive ward, and you can see exactly what Ward 3 encompasses as well. Caller, real quick.
Good morning, Sir Bronson. How we doing?
Doing well.
Look, I hope that the candidates this time will do everything they can to communicate with ESCOM as well as the National County Boards of Elections so that they will have the same schedule for early voting in particular.
We hope so. So we'll try to say they will make that happen with the municipal race happening in 2019 because of the concerns there. But we'll see what happens.
I think a couple of years ago they missed that beat.
Right, in 19. But appreciate you, sir.
All righty.
All right, so it looks like our time here has come and gone on Wncr-Tv Now. Lord's willing to be back with you tomorrow to do it all over again to talk about things. And hopefully we'll be here closer to 8 than today. Again, I was watching another program and was some interesting information to me. And so I didn't come on closer to 8 as I would have. But we'll see you tomorrow right here on Wncr-TV. Don't forget to check out Pop's Diner from 11 till 6 p.m. today at 132 South Church Street, where we can help you get your eat on. How about that? Oh, and don't forget this weekend, July the 12th, is our meet and greet there for all those you who tune into the program and watch us. We appreciate that as well. That is from 11:30 until 1:30 p.m. That's also at Pop's Diner. Take care.
WAJA-LP, Rocky Mount. Another hour of inspiration for the family. We are The Promise, 102.5.
like that.